Part 1. My story. Introduction. I could hear the waves crashing against the rusty pillars that supported the magnificent structure standing proudly at the edge of the island. Yet another honeymooning couple stared at me blankly while I hammered away at the keys of my laptop. I had come to this isolated island in the middle of the Indian Ocean to get away from the crowd and to write my first novel. It was a daunting task, which became even more difficult when people stared at the only loner at the resort. I put on my headphones and turned up the volume. I wanted to drown out the judgment and focus on working. It wasn't that difficult, and within minutes I had another paragraph typed out. The corner of my eye couldn't help but notice that couple staring way too blankly. I had to ask. First time in Maldives. Silence. A lot of newlyweds head off to Maldives for their honeymoon, and the island resort where I was staying came highly recommended on TripAdvisor. It's a global honeymooning destination, and I couldn't expect everyone at that resort to understand English. The guy smiled and replied back in a broken Spanish accent. Yes. What about you? Same. I came here alone to write a book. Oh. That's nice. Everyone likes creative people. If you do something out of the norm, then people look at you differently. Also, if you come to a romantic resort alone. Where are you from? I asked, hoping to strike up a conversation. I talked to the Portuguese guy for several hours. Their wife didn't understand English, so she chose to watch YouTube videos on her iPad. In between stories of Brazil, drinks being exchanged, and a FaceTime call from their kids in Portugal, he asked me a question. So what do you do? T's age-old question got me thinking. Whenever you're at a party or meeting someone new, you inevitably get asked this dreaded question. I almost always would reply back, I'm an internet marketer. T's would instantly end the conversation because, let's face it, no one likes talking about a profession they don't understand. But this time was different. Traveling alone is enlightening. Here I was, alone in an amazing resort sipping some Brazilian cocktail, working on my passion project without a care in the world, and it was a Tuesday. I looked out at the dark rippling horizon and couldn't help but feel blessed to be in an industry where big money is made simply by executing your passion projects. Where there are no weekdays or weekends, you work whenever you want to. Where the people you talk to reside in GChat and Skype. Where you can pay off for an exotic island resort vacation simply by typing a few words and hitting the send button. I like to call myself an experimental internet marketer simply because I like trying out new things. I guess this ideology stemmed from my childhood, when I believed the only way to live a good life was to be a jack of all trades and master of none. PPC, SEO, web development, graphic design, programming, social media, AdWords, AdSense, WebIS, PPV, CPA. If you can think of an internet marketing activity, I've probably done it. I've been successful with a lot of campaigns and failed with even more. But there's one thing I've learned. Nothing beats email marketing. If you have an online business or if your business is online, you need email marketing. It has stood the test of time and millions of businesses worldwide leverage its power daily. There is no better way of spreading your message. If you have an email address, then you're probably subscribed to one if not several email lists. Even if you think you're not subscribed to any list, think about this. When you signed up with Gmail and got your shiny new email address, then you got subscribed to Google's list. You gave Google permission to send you important announcements and notification emails. Do you have a Facebook account? What did they ask you when you signed up? Yeah. Your email address. What about Amazon? What about all those dozens, if not hundreds of websites where you entered your email address either to get something for free or to sign up for a service? You've been exposed to email marketing from the first day you had an email address. There is a reason your email address is more valuable to companies than your real name. An email address is your identity. It's the equivalent of a social security number in the online world. It identifies you. And you keep checking your email account on a daily basis. So you've given businesses the privilege of sending you a daily or weekly email. There is a much bigger reason why your email address is so valuable. An email address is worth $1 per month to an email marketer. T's figure varies greatly with the niche and the marketing strategy of the company, but for all us peeps in the email marketing world, the safe number is $1 per month. I've seen some active marketers make as much as $3 per month per subscriber. So the next time you get someone to give you their email address, know that you're adding $1/month to your bottom line. Their word email might mean something different to you. Most people use it to stay in touch with family and friends, for official communications or to check Facebook notifications. But it means something completely different to me. Owning a list of people who have given you permission to email them is the best asset anyone could have. It's better than property, company stock, cars, gadgets, you name it. An email list is your identity, a way of communicating your message to people who are genuinely interested in hearing what you have to say. It's a one-to-many interaction that allows you to enrich people's lives both professionally and personally. I have sold more than $4 million online with a big chunk of that because of email marketing. I feel truly grateful and blessed. However, it wasn't always like this. My home office. You see, I'm from India. I've spent my entire life here and intend to spend the rest of it here. India is a colorful and vibrant country where the richest rich and the poorest poor reside. Hundreds of languages are spoken, and proponents of every religion practice their beliefs. India is truly a diverse nation with infinite beauty in nature and purity in souls. But India is also a place where electricity keeps cutting off ever so frequently, where the internet speeds a decade ago were comparable to dial-up connections, and where parents decide their kids' futures. I got started online on a warm summer day in 2006 with a 0.2 Mbps internet connection, on an old and frustratingly slow Compaq desktop that sat on top of a little desk in my parents' house. I was barely making it through my engineering college, having opted into the computer science stream. I actually thought I would be an expert coder after my engineering degree. Oh, I was so naive. We were taught old technologies that didn't matter in the modern world. We never even touched HTML. HTML. It's the basis of every web page, and no one in my batch had any idea what it meant. So yes, I was not in an ideal situation. But that's when the magic happens. You put someone with a will to FGHT in a tight corner and he will show you how to break out of the corner, step out in the real world, and embrace it. I love creating new things. Ever since I was a child, I had this knack to think out of the box and make something new. Mom told me that when I was in 10th grade, I had created an animation of stick people running away from a bomb that was apparently quite hilarious. I didn't remember ever creating that, but Mom certainly did. When we were given Play-Doh to make a standard cup in 4th grade, I was the only one experimenting with the cup design. The rest of the class tried mimicking the model cup the teacher had placed in front of us. So when I came across the beautiful world of web designing, I saw a neophyte sea of creativity. I could mix and match a dozen things and create something new out of it. I spent the most of my first year online creating HTML pages, sometimes on Yahoo GeoCities, sometimes on my computer. I learned about a new CMS out there called Joomla, which was much more popular at the time than WordPress. It made the entire website creation process too darn easy, with templates and extensions and whatnot. But after about a year of experimenting and learning, I realized I should start making money leveraging this creativity. I was sure there were people out there who would pay good money to get their websites created. Bear in mind, I don't belong to a business background. My brother is a doctor, my dad's a doctor, and my mom's a school teacher. All three are highly skilled and reputed in their fields, but still no inclination whatsoever towards business. I knew I was treading a path that would lead to some family issues, but I went with it anyway. My logic was if I could make money doing what I love doing, that right there is the dream come true. I found out about freelancing websites. Scriptless, since acquired by Freelancer, was all the rage back then. Clients would come to Scriptless, post their requirement, and us freelancers had to place our bid and convince the client to hire us. After a few failed bids, I started observing the kind of messaging other bidders were using and the kind of bids that became the winning bids. I noticed the freelancers with plenty of 5-star reviews got hired real quickly. So I changed my strategy and started bidding real low. I needed to get as many projects, reviews, under my belt as possible, even if it meant I had to slave away. And slave away I did. I still remember I had a project where the client paid me $5 for 8 hours of intensive coding work. 8 hours. $5. But I started getting great reviews because clients loved my work and I started getting plenty of projects. The best thing was I was learning on the job. I didn't know diddly about many of the projects I undertook. But I was confident I would learn and leverage Google's massive knowledge. Bear in mind, it took about 10 seconds to load a Google search result way back then, with the dead slow internet connection. But all this working during college alienated me from friends and society. I rarely hung out with friends after college. I skipped several parties because I wanted to work. Instead, I woke up in the morning, headed over to college, listened to lectures, logged into the college computer and worked there, came back home and worked till I fell asleep. Yes, I fell asleep on the desk several times. I have no regrets. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for that time. I learned web designing, graphic designing, programming, web development and a whole lot more that year. The first floor of my parents' house was my abode and that Compaq computer had paid for itself several times over. It had been 2 years now, and I had started making a decent amount of money with freelancing, but it wasn't enough. I knew I could use my creativity to make way more. That was also the time when we had campus placements in college and one of the largest IT companies came recruiting. I cleared all the rounds, but told my interviewer I would only take the job if they placed me on a much higher pay scale than the rest of the batch. They were paying out $300 a month, and I was already making 3 times that amount. When they announced the results, they specially mentioned that the hour manager needed to talk to me. So I went and explained him the situation. Little did I know his hands were tied and he wasn't authorized to offer a higher pay package. So I calmly excused myself, rejecting their job offer. I still remember everyone in that room got weirded out by what I was saying. Felt good to be different from the crowd. But now I had more pressure than ever before to make something out of this online business thingy because I had rejected the job offer that most of my colleagues had accepted. I had to make this work. That's when Warrior Forum came into my life, which is the largest internet marketing forum. Again, it was acquired by Freelancer, but only recently. I became a part of several discussions and learned a lot from other marketers' experiences. I bought plenty of Warrior special offers, WSOs, and learned from them. I decided to quit freelancing completely because of one simple formula that haunted me. The amount of money I made with freelancing always would be directly proportional to the number of hours I put in. So if I didn't work for one day, I would make nothing that day. I wanted automation. I wanted more control over my revenue without the need to slave away. My strong suit was that I actually went ahead and implemented all the strategies I learned. All of them. One of the courses taught about launching your own product. I realized since I had so much knowledge about Joomla, I should create a product around that. So I spent the next few weeks building themes and extensions that would make a nice little product. I learned how to write sales copy, how to list my product on ClickBank, how to get affiliates to promote my product, and a whole lot more. A lot of this learning was just like cream farting on top of boiled milk. I had absolutely no contacts in the industry and no way to drive affiliate connections. I relied completely on word of mouth. I waited for several days and nothing happened. My product was out there in the realm of all the other products. There were so many products that were selling well on ClickBank, then why wasn't mine? One day I woke up and saw a flood of ClickBank sales notifications in my inbox. And I was shocked. Had I discovered the Holy Grail? Had customers loved my product so much it had gone viral? Not really. Doing some research, I found one person who had discovered my product and liked it so much he emailed his entire list and got me about 100 sales in one day. And he made 75% commission on every sale. I had made some money, but he took a large chunk of it. I had to work for 12 hours a day for weeks to launch this product. And this guy simply wrote an email and made more money than I did. That got me thinking. That's when I started realizing the power of owning an email list. The joy of that realization slowly faded away because I had to prepare for my MBA entrance examinations. It was the next logical step for everyone in my college and I couldn't be the only one left behind. You could say I succumbed to family pressure, but I enjoyed preparing for those exams and answering papers. As luck would have it, I scored brilliantly on most of these exams and I had interview calls from several top MBA institutes in the country. However, that was also the time where I had to make a decision. Our choices define our destiny. No one can take that away from you. Your choice. And I chose to work on my online business rather than spend the next 2 years studying face and marketing at an MBA college. I had a heart-to-heart with my dad and told him that even if I failed at this venture, the blame would be on me. He was neutral about it, having spent his entire life in the academic field of medical science. He couldn't understand at that point why I was rejecting my job offers and interview offers. But I'm grateful that he let me be. Family drama was over. It was time to hustle and prove to myself and the world I had made the right decision. I decorated the first floor of my parents' house with orange fluorig, orange curtains, orange paint on the cupboards, and an orange sofa. Don't ask me why. I still don't know the reason for choosing an orange palette. I bought a new Dell computer and a new desk. T's one had drawers. I used to wake up in the morning, walk 2 steps to sit down at my desk, work till the wee hours of the night, and sleep off. The hustle had begun. My company. During the next year or so, I experimented with a lot of affiliate marketing strategies because the entire concept was quite intriguing. All I had to do was find ways to drive traffic to an affiliate offer and make sure I was ROI positive. All the while, I started learning about email marketing. With every landing page I put out, I would have an opt-in form. With every PPC campaign I launched, I would also email my small list about it. I experimented with every traffic source out there. The more I played around, the more I realized one thing. All the other traffic sources depended on ROI. I had to pay for traffic, and the day I stopped paying, I would stop getting traffic. But email traffic was different. Sure, I had to spend money to build my list, and I was slowly learning how to improve my conversion rates. But once I had that email list, I could send them an email every day, and all the traffic I drove from those emails wouldn't put a scratch in my pocket. It was like free traffic on demand. I had quadrupled my revenue from my freelancing days, and things were looking up. However, I knew I was capable of doing more. I had to make it official. Things were getting to a point where I couldn't write. Copyright, Ritoba Chakrabarti. All rights reserved. I needed a company. Opening a company in India isn't that easy. However, I found an agent who helped me through the entire process. Now I could write. Copyright, Mark Ace Marketing Pvt. Limited. All rights reserved. As fate would have it, I had reached a stage where I was making $50 a month. Working solo, still with that ridiculously slow internet. I knew I could go bigger. I started looking for office space in Chandigarh. Eyebrows were raised wherever I went because no one took a 21-year-old seriously. But after a few meetings, one real estate agent was so impressed with my story, he recommended me to a friend of his who had a newly built plug-and-play IT office infrastructure. I took that office space and decorated it nicely. I was quite impressed with how Google built their offices. So I set up a pool table, table tennis table, a chill-out room, and spaced out the workstations so my staff could work in their own space. The next step was hiring people. I thought if I hired 20 other people to do the same thing I was doing, I would make 20 times the money. Did I? Not really. In fact, the expenses started to pile up and my burn rate increased to such levels that if I didn't do something differently, I would have to close shop within 6 months. That's when I started talking with one of the top internet marketers in the world. Exegel. You'll find his story in part 3 of this book. He showed me how to leverage the power of email marketing to an extent I had never imagined before. He was talking out of experience, of course, because he had built email lists of hundreds of thousands of people by then. My plan was launching my own product and doing it right this time. Getting the marketing right. Capturing email addresses wherever possible. Getting some solid joint venture partners to promote the living bloopers out of my product. I learned the concept of pre-launch, which is one of the most cost-effective ways to build a list. So if you have a product launch, and you've got several JVs on board, then it's crucial to do a proper pre-launch. I had created an awesome training course called Profit Instruments. It was about an affiliate marketing strategy that involved making small websites that took very Little time to set up and got ranked high up in the search engines for product name. Keywords. I created 3 training videos, professional level stuff that I gave away for free. During my pre-launch, those videos taught the entire Profit Instruments strategy in brief. I also revealed a case study of one of my best affiliate websites. People loved it. A lot of JVs promoted the pre-launch opt-in page and drove more than 40,000 leads in less than a week. Those leads got access to all those training videos for free just for entering their email address, and when the actual product was launched, a lot of those people bought it. Even though the product was available only for a week, it turned out to be a $1 million launch. That launch showed me the true power of owning an email list. If I didn't have those 40,000 leads, I would have had no audience interested in me or my strategies. After that launch, I started promoting other people's products as an affiliate. I drove a lot of sales for a lot of people and got on a lot of launch leaderboards. T's list also paved the way for my next couple of launches, CPA Instruments and Income Instruments. And because I had promoted other people's products, all of those people signed up to promote my future launches. It literally was a snowball effect, and when I look back how that year played out, it was pure magic. Let's also take my email instruments launch for example. I'm writing this entire book that will be given away for free, the PDF version, after people opt in. I will have several JVs who will promote that opt-in page and drive leads. And then my goal will be to give those leads massive content, like this book and a couple of videos, leading up to the email instruments launch. So you opted in to receive this book. You're now a part of my email list, and it will be a great learning experience for you to see the kind of emails I send out in the coming days. Learn from those emails. Look at the subject lines and the email content. That's how I learned email copywriting myself. Building Clickonomy. Ake and I worked on a lot of projects in the coming years, and, in 2014, we had realized one important problem in the email marketing industry. Now, Ake had already done a big launch that year and his product was about email marketing. He had taught more than 10,000 people with that product. We stopped and looked at what was stopping those people from creating a long-term business with email marketing. What is the first thing in any online business funnel? What is the bloodline of any online business? Traffic. Even though our students were able to set up their email marketing funnels properly, they didn't know how to get targeted and qualified traffic to those funnels. BTW, I'll talk more about traffic in part 2 of this book. That got us thinking, and we decided to change the industry. Email advertising, or solo ads or email media, was a proven and time-tested way to drive traffic to opt-in pages. But there was no solid marketplace that could connect both buyers and sellers. So I put my programming hat on, and worked for more than 400 hours to create the alpha version of Clickonomy in June 2014. Clickonomy is an email advertising marketplace that lists sellers with neat profiles and reviews so a buyer is sure they are purchasing clicks from the right seller. Clickonomy also handles the entire transaction process and every purchase creates a click project between the buyer and seller where they can communicate easily. Clickonomy also tracks clicks, lets you secure your funds, and makes the entire process of buying and selling clicks as easy as possible. I'm really proud of what we're doing with Clickonomy and how we are making it better every single day. My main goals were a smooth and sexy interface for buyer and seller communication, an easy-to-use platform which was transparent in every way, a place where buyers could learn from sellers and vice versa. Buyer security. I created a wallet system that would store buyer funds securely, and if the buyer is satisfied with the ad buy, then he/she can transfer the funds to the seller. Seller security. I created a contract system, along with several fraud detection algorithms, to make sure the buyer funds were coming from legal, non-stolen credit cards. We had contacts in the industry, so we got a lot of email ad sellers on board. And, of course, when our students heard about the marketplace, they rushed to get in. Since then we have grown slowly but surely in every way. We are adding more security, ease of use, and cool features every single day. As of now, Clickonomy has been responsible for more than 600,000 clicks in successfully completed projects. We have almost 7,000 members and growing fast. Every day, more and more people get to experience email advertising the Clickonomy way. Check it out, https://www.clickonomy.com. My lifestyle. So what is the email lifestyle? If you're thinking fancy cars, nice hotels, expensive watches, then you're not completely wrong. But when I say lifestyle, I mean freedom. Freedom from facial worries. Freedom from health and family issues. Freedom from a 9-to-5 job. Time freedom is a luxury that's much, much more valuable to me than a Ferrari. And it's not just me. You will read about other successful email marketers in part 3 of this book and what the email lifestyle means to them. You see, I have the freedom to follow my passions. I love music and just recorded my FRST song. I wrote my FRST novel a few months ago and I'm back with this book now. I love traveling. I have traveled to more than a dozen countries in the last few years. I've stayed at the best hotels and resorts without thinking twice. The email lifestyle is the luxury of waking up when you want to, working on your own time, not having to answer to anybody, having plenty of time in your hands to spend with family and friends, traveling to awesome places, meeting a ton of cool people, and following your dreams and passions. In fact, the money generated with email marketing becomes a fuel to fulfill your passions. I use my money to invest in the marketing of my book, or to hire a crew to direct my next music video. Email marketing is a business that only takes a couple of hours every single day. And you have the rest of the day to yourself. You can do your business while chilling at the beach with your wife. The best part is anyone can do this. and I will show you how. Heck, I got started on an old computer sitting on a little desk in my parents' house in India with ridiculously slow internet, while dealing with college pressure and family expectations. So, what's your excuse?